Hi, in this video, we'll be talking about how a bank can earn a commission on currency exchange even if they don't explicitly charge a percent commission. So, one way in which a bank can earn money through a transaction is to charge different rates for buying and selling currency. All right, so in this example, a bank is selling $1 Canadian for this many euros and buying $1 Canadian for this many euros. Now, notice the stress on my words that I just used. I said the bank is selling $1 Canadian and buying $1 Canadian. In other words, or to summarize that, the bank is buying and selling Canadian dollars. In each of these questions, the bank is going to buy and sell one type of currency. And in this question, the bank is buying and selling Canadian dollars. That's a key point, which is why I've been talking about it for a little while. All right, now that you know that the bank is buying and selling Canadian dollars, think of those Canadian dollars as an object that can be bought and sold. Again, same thing, I know. All right, so now let's move on with that point. So the customer here has Canadian dollars and he wants to change his Canadian dollars for euros. So he goes to the bank. He's like, hey, bank, I have some Canadian dollars. Everything in these questions is going to be from the perspective of the bank. So when the customer goes to the bank and says, hey, I have some Canadian dollars I no longer want, the bank is going to do him a favor and the bank is going to buy his Canadian dollars. And it's happening in this case because the person has those Canadian dollars and so the bank has to buy them from him. All right, so we're going to use the buy rate first, and the buy rate is $1 Canadian is equal to 1.5567 euros. Now we're going to go ahead and set up a proportion. And so this guy, he has 900 Canadian dollars. So I'm going to line that up under the Canadian dollars here. So remember, when we set up our proportion, we want Canadian dollars over Canadian dollars and euros over euros. So we can go ahead and say that's equal to some unknown number of euros. We don't know it yet. We're going to have to cross multiply to figure that out. So we get that x is equal to 900 multiplied by 1.5567, and when we multiply those two numbers, we get that x is equal to 1,401.03, and that's euros because that's coming from right here. So x is equal to 1,401.03 euros. So now this guy is like, I don't want to go away anymore. I want to stay put. I don't want these euros anymore. I just want my Canadian dollars back. So he goes back to the bank and he says, okay, bank, I want Canadian dollars. So remember, Canadian dollars is the thing being bought and sold. So the guy wants Canadian dollars. So the bank is going to go ahead and sell the Canadian dollars to him. So now we're going to use the sell exchange rate. So $1 Canadian for 1.5973 euros. So now he has euros. He has, remember from the last question, 1,401.03 euros. And he wants to know how many Canadian dollars he's going to get for that exchange. So we can now go ahead and cross multiply. So we have here that 1.5973 times x is equal to 1,401.03. Now we're going to be isolating the x. We can divide both sides by 1.5973 in order to isolate the x. And we get that x is equal to 877.93 0.12 Canadian dollars. Now, notice he didn't get back the amount of Canadian dollars he started with. He started with 900 Canadian dollars, and he ended up, because of his indecisive nature, with 877.12 Canadian dollars. That means he lost some money here. In order to figure out how much money he lost, well, clearly, if he started off with 900 and he ended up with 877.12, in order to figure out what was lost, we just need the difference. So when we subtract those two numbers, we get 22.88 Canadian dollars. And so that was what was lost in that double transaction. So that's how you figure out how to calculate the commission if you have different buy and sell rates. But every question is slightly different. So I want to show you just different phrasing to help you to recognize what is the currency being bought and what is the currency, well, same currency. What is that currency that's being bought and sold? Okay, so the examples I'm about to show you are all taken from past IB exams, past math studies IB exams. We're not going to work through each and every problem. We're just going to start off and figure out what's being bought and sold and maybe figure out what exchange rate should be used. All right, so in this question here, we have a table. And in our table, as you can see, we have the facts that the bank is buying the foreign currency and the bank is selling the foreign currency. And you know here, based on the question, that they're in the United Kingdom where the local currency is the GBP. So in this question, these are the things being bought and sold. Both bought and sold. So if the person goes to the bank and wants foreign currency, the bank is going to sell the foreign currency. I'll repeat, if the person goes to the bank and wants foreign currency, the bank is going to sell foreign currency. But if they go to the bank with foreign currency, the bank is going to buy their foreign currency. All right, let's look at another example. All right, in this case, we have this guy, he's traveling to Europe. All this good stuff is happening for him, but let's focus on what's being bought and sold. The bank is buying euros and selling euros. So in this case, the bank is buying and selling euros. Now look at this guy. He wants euros. Use the appropriate. Okay, so the guy wants euros. See, it says convert to euros. All right, so since he wants euros, the bank is going to have to sell him euros. And then when he changes his mind, he no longer wants the euros, the bank is going to buy them back from him over in this question here. All right, let's look at one more example, and then we'll be done. Okay, so this last one is a little bit trickier in its wording because the wording is in the table and it's not that explicit. It says here the bank buys 1 euro. The bank buys 1 GBP. The bank buys 1 US dollar. The bank also sells the euro, the GBP, and the US dollar. These are the currencies, the ones that I highlighted. These are the currencies being bought and sold. All right. So again, if someone goes to the bank looking for, let's use euros as an example. If the person goes to the bank and they want euros, the bank will sell the euros to them. But if the person goes to the bank with euros, the bank will buy their euros from them. All right, I hope that helped. Bye.